about today, especially on Waring and Dexter, is going to be core items and new items, which all of y'all in the different locations, every rep that has Waring or Dexter in your region has these units as samples. It's one of Waring's, I won't say it's a requirement, but every rep, as soon as Waring comes out with a new item, we get at least one, if not two of them at our rep offices. So everything, again, every product I show is available in your local territory for training, for taking out, showing a customer, for demoing to a customer. So feel free to reach out to those various reps. So at the IFG Sales Leadership Conference this past summer, we did show some of these items. We didn't have a chance to do them live, obviously, in that format. So today we're going to do live. So one of the new items, if y'all are familiar, a lot of y'all are familiar with the MX series of blenders from Waring. So that's our high-powered unit. It's on a black base. This one has blue. This is our new unit, which is the Ellipse. There was a sales 6-page brochure emailed out by Cindy. If you've gotten the literature yet for this meeting, it's on the Ellipse. This is our latest and greatest. So Waring spent about 3.5 years developing this. It's specifically targeted to the higher volume smoothie bars, also to your acai locations, because if any of y'all are selling to those and called on those, you'll notice that a lot of them, when they're doing acai bowls, they're having to blend it in either a food processor or a heavy duty mixer in the back, and it damages over time. They're burning up motors. So this unit was actually specifically designed with a couple of chains, acai chains and smoothie chains. So secret is it's a 3.5 horsepower motor. It's got 4 pre-programmed buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, very easy. They can be changed. When you get it out of the box, it's pretty much set for a standard smoothie and I'll say a standard acai bowl. Unlike our MX blender, the MX, which competes with, I'll say, Vitamix and some of the others, has a 48 and or 64 ounce jar available. On this unit, to get the efficiencies, it's a 32 ounce, which again is still the largest smoothie that we've seen in the marketplace. Is pretty much 32 ounce. So you can still get that one smoothie per use out of this blender. So the key to this is it's got a lid housing and two blades, and you'll see that in the brochure. It fits into this unit. It has a pour spout that lines up with the lid too, so you just got to make sure those two are in alignment. And then the other piece to it that we showed you at the conference is this motor housing. So it's got a separate motor housing that goes on top and locks in with a 1/4 of a twist, and then you'll put it into the unit. When the unit is on, we had a power outage here as well earlier. So one of the things, it's got a 10, 20, and 30-second rotation. What this does is, we've always said with our MX blenders, we don't sell a tamper. We don't have that knockdown tamper that goes in the lid and pushes the product down on the blade like one of our competitors does. These 2 blades that spin actually do that job for you. So now we've automated the process. What that allows us to do is, when you look, and I'm going to make a smoothie in a minute, is in 10 seconds, we'll take frozen fruit and yogurt and milk and turn it into a perfectly smooth fruit smoothie. It'll take acai in 15 or 20 seconds. When you see them making, normally when you go into your smoothie bar, those that drink smoothies, my kids, myself, they fill it and then they're taking it out, they're shaking it, or they're using a tamper or a scooper to push it back down, and then they're putting it back on, and they're doing a 20-second blend, stopping for 10 or 15 seconds, 20-second blend, and finally they're ready to pour. Here we can get them down to 10 seconds, getting customers through the line. Okay. So when you put this down, let me see, the start didn't. You'll see, I don't know if the video, yeah, there you go. You can see it in the video. So the auto start, and then that'll turn. There's an RFID chip in the lid. So when the lid closes, it tells the agitator to turn on. As soon as you lift it up, it turns off. You can also run it for preset 10, 20, or 30 seconds just by pushing that button. So again, depending on what the operator needs, they can customize it to a set time, or they can just have it come on every time the lid is closed. One of the things we get asked a lot is, okay, that has extra parts compared to a standard blender. Let's talk about it. It's got a container, it's got the lid with the agitator, and it's got a motor housing. So it's 4 pieces actually total. The competitive product with the tamper is actually a three pieces that you still have to worry about. So this does have 1 extra piece. This motor housing will last and run for 12 hours on a single charge. It comes with a charging station. We actually sell as an accessory a charging station that has 3 bays in it. So again, they can charge all 3 units. If they have 3 smoothie units, they can have multiple jars and multiple motors. So they're charging and reusing and switching out. So what I have here is some fruit, like strawberries, bananas, blueberries, cup of milk. And because I like strawberry yogurt, we're going to do strawberry yogurt. You can put ice if you want. Oh, I got back. Let me finish what I was going to say. So on the presets, when it comes out of the box, excuse me, button 1 is for 10 seconds. Button 2 is 15 seconds. Button 3 is preset for 20 seconds. And button 4 will be 30 seconds. For the sake of this, we're going to do a 10-second blend. Perfectly poured smoothie. Smooth. No chunks, no still frozen fruit in it, and everything's done in 10 seconds. Again, what that gives that operator is he's moving his line down. I don't know. Again, my daughters all live on smoothies. We go to a smoothie place and there's 10, 15, 20 people in line waiting to get through smoothies because it's taking them a minute, minute and a half. So this really does revolutionize. These units, again, available for test. On warranty, this unit is just like the MX blender. So it's got a 3-year motor warranty, 2-year parts and labor on it. So if they break a container, and we'll talk about warranty at the end of the presentation on how the warranty coverages are done throughout the territories. But you can see extended warranty on this unit because it's heavy duty. We want to go get into the market, contact the local rep in your area. Again, each rep office, I won't say every rep, but every rep office has at least one. We've got 3 here in Florida. So IFG in Florida, I've got 1 in South Florida, 1 in Orlando, and 1 here for demo and taking out and showing customers. Okay. Another heavy duty unit we showed is juice extractor. Again, complementing that, getting into that beverage bar or juice bar is our WJX80. We just recently redesigned it since the leadership conference. It's now a WJX80X, meaning it's a new model. The only thing we changed on it is the hole here in the top is a little bit larger round, so it can take full larger apples than what was there. Sometimes people were saying they were having to cut pears, cut apples. We wanted to make it easy for a juice bar or a juice place to do it. So we're going to just make some apple juice real quick. We'll show at the end. I'm gonna make some carrot and I'm gonna do ginger as well, just to show you that it can do any fruit, any vegetable. Again, the question comes up, can it do citrus? No, this is not designed for citrus, and there's one core reason. Citrus in that white on the outside of the rind, you have that pulp that has a bitter taste to it. So we always recommend buy a citrus juicer, which again, Waring, other companies make, have a citrus juicer. This is more for fruits and vegetables. I'll say fruits of strawberries, things like that. You can do small fruit that don't have that bitter rind behind the membrane, behind the skin. So I don't recommend. We do have people that if they peel their oranges, yes, you could put citrus through. If you peel your grapefruit, you can put them through here, but don't put them in with the because they'll end up getting very bitter taste finished product. Somebody else saying something? One of the other advantages this unit has is on this pour spout is it actually turns up. If I can get it to show, oh, the camera didn't follow me down. All right. So it's got a rubber spout here on the front that you can turn up when you're done juicing in between so that the liquid any extra drips don't get all over the counter and make a mess. And then you just turn it back down. We also recommend between uses that you just put a little bit of water through the unit to clean between apple, let's say, and we're going to make some carrot juice here in a minute. Apologize for the cavitation. It was the camera was following me up, so we tried to build these up on some bus boxes, which aren't the most stable of footing for doing demos. So it cavitated a little bit and made a little extra noise. So here we made some carrot juice right behind some apple juice. I've got ginger as well, so you can put straight up ginger root in here, any and all vegetables and things. So again, in complementing the smoothies and stuff in the marketplace, you have access to two really new beverage units from Waring. This is growing in the market. Again, acai concepts are popping up all over the place. It's a hot market right now. And in those acai, they're also doing smoothies. Realize if you go visit the site, they typically, an average smoothie bar will have between 3 and 6 blenders with probably 25 to 30 containers. So you're talking about probably somewhere in the neighborhood of a $15,000 to $25,000 order just in blenders and containers that they need and have to have so they can be rotating those containers and lids and everything back through the dishwash or the 3 compartment. But again, 3 to 6 blenders each. So very popular item. Again, a lot of acai places have juice extractors in the back of the house for their fresh juices that they also present to the customers in mason jars or little cups out front. Again, they'll have 1 or 2 of these juice extractors. So again, you're talking about probably about a $2,000 sale here. So all total, just 2 products, you have somewhere between a $15,000 and, like I said, $18,000, $20,000 opportunity to go sell and find those customers. One of the other items I want to talk about, a new item, if I can get, yep, here we go, we call it the Express. It's actually, I was lucky enough to go over to the host show in Milan, Italy in October and visit some of our factories. When I was there, even in Italy, crepes are all over the marketplace over there. I was surprised to see, because I'm old school, the single crepe maker. However, over there, probably 50% of the stores had this double-sided crepe maker. What it takes is, for those that aren't culinary trained, it takes the concept of you pour the batter on, close the lid, and you don't have to have that ability to be able to lift that whole crepe and make that flip with the crepe. That takes special techniques. Traditional crepe stores and markets are going to want that single because it's about the show. But if they're just trying to high produce crepes out back or in the back of the house and sell them already stuffed out front, they'll use this type of item. Where it's also caught on is in Mexican concepts, where they can toast and make their own tortillas in here and press and toast both sides of it very, very efficiently. You can do quesadillas in here. You can do a lot of things. So it's just something to keep in mind. You have a brochure on this item as well. It's got digital controls on the front, so you can actually adjust the cooking temperature from 145 degrees all the way up to 450 degrees. It has a timer. You can adjust the timer as well, so it'll run and then it beeps. It does not turn the unit off. It's just a countdown timer, and it does then beep when it's done. So if your crepe is a 30-second crepe, you'll have time to come over, lift the lid up, and get the crepe off, and then put the new one down. So again, it's very easy to transport, not overly heavy. It's kind of like the same weight as the blender and the WHX. So again, your reps have these, take them out, do trainings. If you have locations and want personalized training, I'm sure your reps will definitely come out and do that. Talk about immersion blenders, which is one of our biggest markets, which Waring has enjoyed a lot of business with IFG. No changes here, but just wanted to talk about it since it is a core item. We do have one new item in the line, or I'll say an updated model. But this is our WSB line. This is the WSB 50, which has the 14-inch shaft. One of the things that differentiates Waring's from the competition, including, I believe, Hamilton Beach is the most recent introduction, is we use one motor size for all of our removable shaft units. So from the 14-inch all the way to the 21-inch shaft, we use the same motor. It's a 1 horsepower heavy duty motor. We've been using the same motor for probably about 8 or 9 years with no issues. The advantage that we find compared to the competition is, again, because we use the same motor, if the chef has a 10-quart stock pot, a 20-quart stock pot, he can buy 1 motor housing and 2 shafts from you, so you can save them money. With our competition, the motor is sized to that shaft length. You have to sell them a whole new unit. So we try to be a little more economical in saying, hey, sell them the shafts for all their different size stock pots. Sizing guide is in the catalog, and we'll show you that in a minute. But again, and then they just need 1 motor. It does have the ability we do have a wall hook mounting system, so this can be mounted to the wall and held up when not in use. We've got a shaft stand for it again that will also hold the shaft on the wall so it can get up and out of the way and not be thrown into a bus box or get liquid or damaged in it. The other advantage is we've got a two-piece start, so safety interlock. Like I said, in all my digits, right? So make sure you have a two-piece start on it. And then on the front, we've got a turnstile for adjusting the speed of the blade assembly. So you can go from chopping, let's say, and then as that product breaks down, you can increase the speed so it doesn't start throwing pieces around in that stock pot and whatnot. We have a whisk assembly available for this as well. There's a video online where one of the Waring chefs did, I believe it was 35 pounds of potatoes and made mashed potatoes in a stock pot. 35 pounds with this unit and the double whisk attachment that goes on the bottom of it. So it's an interesting video. Our competition will tell you they cannot do, or they won't warranty if you start using it for mashed potatoes, and it comes down to the amount of torque that's being put on the unit. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is just really one of the small entry level. Again, this is one of the bigger selling SKUs. We had the WSB 33, which was the small handheld. This is now the WSB 35. It's a little bit of a remodel. All that changed, honestly, was the motor got upgraded. It's a heavier watt motor. I believe it's a 100 or 150 watt motor, and the old motor was an 80 watt. So it's got a little bit more power because we know, again, in field test and in market, chefs are using this more and more for their sauces, using it maybe in applications that it wasn't made for with a little bit more heavy duty product. So we upgraded the motor housing, or excuse me, the motor in here to give it more power.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Charles Kwanitz. Charles joined our group 3 years ago. He was the local Dexter rep for many, many years in Florida. So again, I am smart enough to know that I go to my ace in the hole when someone wants to talk about Dexter and talk about the breadth of their line. So with that, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to come into your meeting, talk to you a little bit about Dexter. I always like to start a meeting off with a little humor, so I thought I would share this joke with you. So the other day I go into a McDonald's and I had a kids meal. Well, the mother got so mad at me. Okay, let's talk about Dexter. All right, you have a lot of choices out there when it comes to cutlery. We'd like you to think about Dexter before you choose the other brands, and a couple of reasons why. First of all, Dexter is the oldest professional cutlery manufacturer in the United States. Dexter uses what they call a proprietary steel. We call it Dex steel. It's made specifically for Dexter. It is a high carbon, a high alloy stainless steel product that's made specifically for professional cutlery. What that does for the operator is it enhances edge sharpness, it enhances corrosion resistance and hardness, and allows you to bring the edge back at a quicker pace. So if you have a Dex steel blade, you're going to be happy with that. So let's talk a little bit about the types of edges you can get with a Dexter knife. Most common is a straight edge. Right, the straight edge, if you look at the shoulder of the Dexter knife or any knife, the grind goes all the way down to the edge almost to infinity, meaning it's hard to see where the edge stops and the blade starts. Very narrow, very sharp, easy to retain, easy to restore. That's a straight blade. The next blade we came out with was a hollow grind. This has been around for a while. Can everybody see the knife okay? The hollow grind, what that does, it comes 3/4 of the way down the blade, and then you have a concave grind to it. What that does is it allows for a quicker release of food. So if you're in heavy production, doing a lot of slicing, chopping, it gets the product off the blade at a quicker rate. The next one that we have, or is that we offer, is a scalloped edge knife. If you look closely at the edge, you'll see a series of points, or teeth, if you will. Right below that, you'll see a ground edge. Now, what that does is when you're cutting a product that has a hard outside and a softer inside, it punctures the product's skin and allows the cutting surface to slice through the product. A good example of that would be a tomato, for example. The teeth on it will puncture the skin, and the edge will allow the knife to slice through it and not crush the product on the inside. Subsequently, you won't end up with a bunch of salsa. The next type of edge is called a duo edge. We call it a duo edge. Some people call it a gratin edge. It's also known as a coolant chef. If you look at the edge, right above the edge, there are these series of grinds or little, what they call coolants. What that does is it allows the juice from a product, such as a roast beef or something like that, to escape and not having the product stick to the blade. So anytime you have something with a lot of juice or grease, you might want to try the duo edge or the gratin edge knife. Usually found in slicers, but it's becoming more and more popular on other styles of knives as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the knife types that Dexter offers. They have over 2,000 products offered. The SaniSafe started back in the day when the health department said we don't want wood handles in the kitchens any longer because the wood would crack, bacteria would develop in the cracks, etc. So Dexter came out with a SaniSafe polypropylene handle with the patented Dexter grip. So you have a completely sealed handle and a softer and a slip resistant handle. In the health department like that, it's been very successful. You'd be hard pressed to not find a Dexter SaniSafe knife in your kitchen when you go through the restaurants. The next one we came out with in that series was a soft grip. The soft grip, over the last 10 years or so, changed styles a couple of times. It now is offered with a pistol grip handle. It's a polypropylene core with a rubberized product that gives it a little bit more comfort and a lot more slip resistance. Very popular. The next one we came out with is called a Velo handle. Originally, this came out for culinary students. As the students were learning their knife skills, they're confident in their abilities. This allowed them to have a smaller handle, a slip-resistant rubber core that keeps the product in control or keeps the knife in control and allows them to build their confidence up until their knife skills increase. A lot of people like that. It's a little bit smaller in the diameter and much more slip resistant. The next one we came out with is called a Duo Glide. This is a pretty neat little knife. Not everybody likes the style, but if you have limited mobility or limited action, whether it be from arthritis or whatever, it allows you to have the handle up over the top of the blade. Therefore, you have less motion when you're completing the slicing action. When you take a regular chef's knife, you have to lift the back of the blade up considerably higher to go through the slice motion. The Duo Glide reduces the amount of lift, subsequently ease on the wrist, the hand. It also helps carpal tunnel resistance. It's really a great design. Not everybody likes it, but if you get to use it, you'll notice it's really neat to use. All right, so to stay competitive, we went overseas for a forged knife. We have a couple of different forged knives I'm going to show you right now. This is called the iCut Pro. There are a couple of different types of forged knives. Usually a forged knife goes all the way through from the tip to the butt. This particular, the iCut Pro, does not go all the way through. The blade is forged, and then it goes inside the handle, and it gets attached to a coupling in there. That's the iCut Pro. The reason we did that is they were looking for something that was inexpensive, but yet still had that feel of a forged knife, but not the price tag. Then we took that another step forward or further, and we came out with a fully forged knife. This also was made overseas, and that from tip to butt is one piece of steel. There's a bolster in it, which gives balance and weight to the knife. It also has a plastic overmold handle that's riveted through the tang of the knife. Economical, but yet the feel of a forged knife, the weight, the balance. It's a great knife. Then our longtime economical knife that we started having made overseas was the Dexter Basics. That's a high carbon stainless steel. It is not the Dex steel, but it is a good steel. It comes to you in a variety of different sizes and easy to put the edge back on it. Economical. It's about half the price of a SaniSafe knife. So if you have a customer that's looking for something that's good, wants to save some money, this is a great alternative. Some of the new products that we have is our new line of silicone tools, high heat silicone tools. We have a number of different types of tools, sizes, etc. The difference with ours is there's metal that goes through to keep the rigidity and the strength. It also will resist up to 500 degrees. So if you set it down on the side of the stove, when you pick it back up again, it's not going to be melted. We also have several tools that we offer, pizza tools. Let's talk about the pizza equipment. We have the Dexter pizza cutter, which is the best in the industry. If you haven't used it, you need to try it. Dexter grinds an edge on the blade, which actually can be resharpened if you want to take the time to do it. But the most important part is the non-stick axle that they use. So this blade does not stick when you're using it to cut your pies. I mean, look at a pie that has 3 or 4 toppings on it. You go to cut it through with the ordinary pizza cutter and the wheel sticks. What does it do? It drags the topping all across the pie. You can't serve it. With the pizza cutter from Dexter, it'll go through the cut and not drag the product off the top of the pie. Another item that we make in the pizza industry, or for the pizza industry, is the dough cutter. The dough cutter, scraper. This is used for a number of different things, but a bakery, a pizza shop, everybody uses it. The dough cutter from Dexter. Turners, spatulas. Dexter makes a turner different than anyone else. First of all, they grind an edge around the turner, which gives you the ability to lift product off the cooking surface without it sticking. The other thing that Dexter does with it is they engineer flexibility or memory into the blade. So if you're putting a lot of pressure down on the blade, it'll always go back to its original shape. It won't bend here or break. It won't bend or break there. Great turner. Customers love it. All right. How do we maintain our knives? When you sell a knife to a customer, you should really ask them, all right, how are you going to keep the edge on that knife? Most would say, well, I have a sharpener. Okay, what kind of sharpener do you have? That's one way you can lead in with diamond sharpener. The diamond sharpener is used to restore the edge once the edge starts to fail. What it does is it slightly grinds off the broken edge and puts a new edge back on it. The other thing that you need to have is a butcher steel. The butcher steel keeps the edge straight. So the more you use the knife, the more you want to use a butcher steel. It prevents you from having to sharpen the knife multiple times throughout the day. So there's 2 things you could sell. You sell a butcher steel and you sell a sharpener. Very important. We also offer a handheld sharpener. It's a great tool. I don't recommend it for expensive knives, but it'll do the job real quick. Also offer a 3-way ceramic sharpener. This is a great sharpening device. It doesn't require oil, doesn't require water. It's dry, it's ceramic. It offers 3 stones, a fine, a medium, and a coarse stone. You can keep it in your work area. It's safe. Does a real good job. Some of the storage tools or storage products that we offer. You're going to take a knife and you're going to put it in a bag. You're going to put it in a drawer. You really want to get a knife guard for the knives. Protect the edge, protect the blade. It's a great item to add. It's an add-on piece. You add $5 onto your sale, no problem. And Dexter designed it so it's easy to use. Use my back for a minute. If you notice at the top of the knife guard, there's a cutout. The cutout allows you to stick the knife in by the heel instead of trying to do this and slip and cut yourself. It's very easy to use. It's a great add-on product. Also in the storage category, we have knife bags. We have number of different knife bags. It's 3-piece, a 7-piece. We have a 16-piece and a 36-piece bag. We also have backpacks available for you. It's a great add-on.